no more hot meals or blankets. Fearing the spread of the coronavirus, Asian carriers like China Airlines and Mandarin have stopped providing these and other amenities on their flights to and from China. Cathay Pacific says it's reducing capacity on those routes, while Thai Airways has been disinfecting its cabins. But other major airlines like British Airways aren't taking any chances. It suspended all flights heading to China for the week, and so has Air Seoul and Lion Air. The US, France, and Japan have also started evacuating their citizens living in Wuhan, where the outbreak began.
I was very worried because the situation changed very rapidly. Honestly, I'm quite relieved that the government brought us home swiftly with the chartered plane.
The virus has hit during the busiest time of the year for China as it celebrates the Lunar New Year, and it's turned holiday destinations like Macau into ghost towns.
I think because of the diseases exposed in China, so fewer tourists to come to Macau. And also because I also work in the casino, and then I also know the tourism, it affects a lot.
The outbreak has also affected the operations of the world's biggest multinational corporations. Facebook and ExxonMobil have restricted travel to China. Alibaba and Tencent have advised their employees to work from home. Toyota says it's halting operations in the country until February, while Starbucks has shut half of its Chinese stores. A number of international sporting events have either been cancelled or moved out of the country, while countries hosting Chinese sports teams are taking precautionary measures.
We are also aware of and working with a women's football team from China who are in Brisbane now and have recently travelled to Wuhan province. The Department of Health is working closely with them and with the management of the hotel where they are staying.
Back in China, the virus outbreak has prompted the government to extend the Lunar New Year. The holiday usually means more business for shops and restaurants. But as people stay home, companies are bracing for more pain from the economic fallout. Laila Humairah, TRT World.
Well, for more on this story, let's bring in Patrick Fok, who's reporting from Beijing. Hi, Patrick. Now, as we heard in Laila's story there, we're seeing more and more businesses and companies from around the world enact plans for their employees to either avoid or pull out of China altogether. Can you give us more detail about some of the reaction we're seeing from the corporate world?
Yeah, well, a lot of companies playing it safe, major companies, both here in China and overseas, a lot in Hong Kong as well, basically telling employees that have been to China to stay at home for 14 days for that incubation period to make sure that they're safe. And a lot of people here in China certainly making plans to work from home for the next 2 weeks. And a lot of businesses are being affected. You know, there are a lot of shops that remain closed on shopping areas, shopping districts around Beijing. You know, the people that are going into shops right now, if they're not wearing face masks, they're being told to get out. They are really worried indeed about the situation here. And we know that, you know, everything from airlines to hotels, anything travel related is being affected a lot right now. And also we're hearing that the luxury sector and mining sector are being hit particularly badly. Of course, the Chinese are main drivers of those two sectors. But, you know, overall, there's going to be a big economic impact, certainly in the near term. How much impact there is in the long term, it kind of depends on what we learn about the virus over the next few days and just how lethal and how big a threat there is.
Now, Chinese authorities have largely been applauded for their drastic response to the coronavirus outbreak, but we're still seeing things go from bad to worse. The death toll is rising, the number of infections is rising. Can you tell us what's the latest in terms of the response from officials there?
Yeah, well, certainly we've had no indication that the rate of transmission is slowing down. And as we've heard, you know, Today, we've surpassed the 6,000 mark rate of infections, particularly concerning because that is actually larger than the number of people that were infected by SARS. But, the response here is really to continue to contain as much as they can. We've been hearing a lot of reports about villages and towns barricading themselves, a lot of self-isolation going on at the moment, and officials are scrambling to build these hospitals in Wuhan in particular. They've sent in a lot of medics, and those are going to house 2,500 people at least. They're meant to be complete on Monday and Wednesday, but we're also hearing about other medical facilities being set up here in Beijing as well, just on the outskirts of the city. We gather that an old hospital's been refurbished as well. So lots more going on to try and contain this outbreak.
Okay, Patrick Fok, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you for that update from the Chinese capital.